Welcome to the In Love with PMDD podcast. I am your host, Dr. Rose, your PMDD Relationship psychotraumatologist, and I help you stop the monthly PMDD breakups. PMDD is premenstrual dysphoric disorder. It is in approximately 1 in 5 women, and it makes you want to break up with your partner approximately 1 to 2 weeks before your period every single month. So as someone who has suffered with PMDD for over 18 years, I dedicated my doctorate practice to helping partners navigate those monthly PMDD breakups with everything from attachment styles, triggers, sensitivity to noise, sensitivity to touch, all of the things that you really struggle with when you're in PMDD. And I also dedicated my dissertation to a phenomenological study of the relationship experiences of partners of individuals who suffer with premenstrual dysphoric disorder. So I'm not just here to help the sufferer, the one who is suffering with PMDD. I am here for the partners as well. So if you need those private sessions, make sure you go to inlovewithpmdd.com and get those tools. So let's get into this week's PMDD Trauma Transformational Tools that is going to help you stop the monthly breakups and stop the suffering and stress in your PMDD relationship. Let's get into it. Today, we are going to be talking about, does your ex-PMDD partner deserve another chance? This is a highly suggested podcast from so many of my private clients. And then all of you that are in my DMs on Instagram. And it is when you've come to me and said, I've broken up with my PMDD partner. Is it too late? And I always tell you no. I always tell you that when you've broken up specifically with PMDD, that doesn't necessarily mean the end. I always tell you that there is hope because I really need to hear what has gone on, what has transpired during PMDD, what were the triggers, what was the reason, what was the history. And once I understand all of that behind it, a lot of times I have come to the conclusion that what you really needed was a break, not a break up. So what that means is you needed a break from everything that was going on with your intimate relationship because it was too heavy, it was too much for either you to handle or too much for your partners to handle, and you went through that whole process. And it really, because you didn't have the right tools, or because you were feeling too triggered, or because the PMDD symptoms were too much, you just didn't feel like you could handle it all. And the only thing, when you have PMDD, and you're in an intimate relationship, the biggest thing that you do when you're feeling stressed and overwhelmed is take something off of your plate. And the best thing that you can take off of your plate normally is your partner, because you can't tell PMDD to go away. You can't say, oh my gosh, PMDD, you're too much for me this month. Go away. I've wanted to do that so many months. I'm like, listen, last month with PMDD was super heavy. I'm still experiencing the symptoms this month from last month, and I really can't deal with having more, symptoms and trauma and all those things, and I really need a break. I just have wanted a break from PMDD, and I've not gotten that. But when you think about what you can take off your plate, you can take your partner off the plate. Those are the times where I've called my PMDD partner, or he's called me, and I've been in that mindset of just, this is too much. And I've literally said, I don't want to be with you. I can't be with you. We shouldn't be together, because I feel like I can't deal with the relationship stress in addition to everything that's going on with PMDD. And so I feel like I need to just break up with my PMDD partner because I can't do it all. I can't do it all for that long. And I always say that the amount of time that PMDD is 14 days. So our bodies, scientifically, from a psychology point of view, our bodies are made to adapt to stress. If we are in stressful situations, we're made to adapt to them. Sometimes they can make us stronger. We can get into the fight, flight, or freeze response. Fight meaning you want to argue, you want to fight back. Flight meaning you want to go away, you want to, just completely leave the relationship. And freeze is you're just stuck in the moment where you can't really respond, where you're just trying to process everything. And so when we get into those moments, it's okay temporarily, but our bodies are not meant, our bodies, our mind, our spirit, like everything is not meant to go through the amount of relationship stress that we go through in PMDD for long periods of time. And a lot of times when it's been days and days and days and months and months and months and, sometimes years, I have private clients where we're uncovering damage that has been done for years. So that's why when I always say, come and book a private session with me and start uncovering some of it, it's because the longer you wait, the more you're adding on to the trauma that you've experienced, and you're going to begin to get burnout, which is a whole nother episode that I'm going to do. But basically, we're not meant to endure all of this for long periods of time. And so a lot of times when we're saying I want to break up, it's because you're on overwhelm. It's like if you think of a balloon and you're putting so much air in it, it's going to pop, or you're putting so much water in it, it's going to burst. It's like we're not created to endure that much stress in our relationship before thinking that we want to just throw the whole thing away. And so I often say, when we're talking about does your ex deserve another chance? There's certain steps to come to that conclusion, but I will tell you that when it comes to taking something off your plate, your partner is normally the first thing. It's very common because that is the only thing that you can tangibly take off of your plate. You cannot tangibly get rid of PMDD. You can't just wake up one day and say, I'm not going to deal with PMDD. There are many medications. There's many things that you can do to kind of numb it. There's things that you can do to prolong it. There's things that you can do to lessen the blow, lessen the symptoms, but you're never fully getting rid of it unless you have an oophorectomy. And that's a whole nother journey where I'm not going to get into medical advice. Actually, I'm not even going to go into that but you know what that is. If you know, because you've looked it up and you figured it out, I could get that done, but then you can't have children. You go into menopause, and menopause, I have my best friend, Angie. She's actually, she doesn't listen every single week, so maybe she won't hear this, but she's in menopause. And there's so many symptoms that she's going through and so many struggles that she's having. And she was like, I really wasn't expecting this. I thought menopause was supposed to be this great thing, you finally get a relief from your cycle, your periods. But she's going through so much. And so that's why I say when we talk about the quick fixes and stuff like that, we're literally trading one pain for another. And it sucks and it's horrible, but it's reality. And so I try to be a realist when it comes to this. That's why I always tell you, I'm never going to claim to you that I'm taking away all of your PMDD symptoms or I'm taking away your issues in your relationship. I'm giving you tools to manage them. And so when we talk about breaking up, a lot of times private clients just come to me when they've already broken up or they're on the verge of breaking up, when they're in crisis mode. I have two sets of clients that come to me. They come to me for preventative measures, meaning I'm trying to prevent us breaking up. I felt like we teetered the line a little bit, and I don't want us to get to that point. I want to get help before it's too late, right? I have that set of clients. And then I have a set of clients that are coming to me literally running and saying, my partner said he wants to break up with me. They want to get a divorce. They want me to move. They want me to just do all the things to end the relationship. And I need help. And I always say to these individuals, there's a lot of work to be done to repair this, to find out what's going on. And it can't always be done immediately, in one session. I have been able to get clients to stop canceling weddings, to stop breaking up and just saying, okay, I'm going to take breaking up off the table to see what this work can do. But these have been individuals that have been watching me and listening to me for months and months and months, that I've been saying, if you need help, come reach out. And this is why I always tell you, my listeners, my PMDD partners, if you need help, don't wait until it gets to that point, because There have been, in 2022 alone, about 8 couples where they have gone through the process, and because they waited so long, it's been too late. And they literally have both said, because I've had individual sessions with them, I wish we would have found you sooner. But it's like the damage has been done. There's so much like residual trauma. There's like all of these other damaging things that, was done in PMDD rage, things that were said. And it's so unfortunate, because when I'm talking to both of them, I'm like, yeah, this could work. These are good people for each other, but the amount of time that was waited, and I understand some of you find me at different times in your journey. So it's like, it's not my fault that I didn't know you before and I couldn't get the help. But what I'm saying is, for the individuals that do know me, that have been listening to the podcast, if you need help, reach out sooner rather than later, because I don't want you to get to that point where we're talking about today, which is, does your ex-PMDD partner deserve another chance? So if you need help, go to my website, www.inlovewithpmdd.com. There are 2 ways to work with me. There are private sessions, and then also the PMDD Partner Support Group, which is amazing for just getting the tools if you want to go on your own journey of kind of navigating PMDD and intimate relationships on your own, and you just need the resources. Like, I just need the tools. And then I can do it with the PMDD Partner Support Group. You will be getting videos from me every single week on different PMDD topics, PMDD relationship topics. And I do get this from my private clients. I get it from my personal relationship. I get it from individuals that are on Instagram that I, connect with. So this is all stuff that is very relevant. I'm not teaching you anything that's not going to be useful. I'm teaching you things that we literally go through on a monthly basis, but I'm giving you tools on what to do about it. So when we're talking about, does your ex deserve another chance, we have to really think about when your PMDD relationship ends, the desire for a breakup is often one-sided. It's normally the individual that is in PMDD, and they're literally deciding to break up because it's too overwhelming. They feel like, I just need my peace. I will be so much better without you. My life before you was so much better with managing PMDD. You're not supporting me the way that I need. Maybe I want a different PMDD partner. There's all of this damage that has been done. We can't go back in the past and restore it. I don't want to be in this toxic PMDD relationship. All of these things. And so it's almost one person has made the decision. And it's very unfortunate, because it leaves the other partner wondering what they could have done. It's kind of like in that situation of being in limbo. And that means you or your ex at some point may want to try again. Like, maybe you came out of PMDD and you're like, well, it wasn't that bad, but I've already made the decision. And then your partner may say, yeah, I know they broke up with me, but like, I feel like we could really work it out. So if you find yourself after the breakup and you're wanting to get back with your PMDD partner, it might be time to do a little soul searching, in a sense of, let's dive deep into how we can make that happen. And I want you to go through these things with me, because I want to be able to work through the process with you, and then also see what you identify with, right? So if you're trying to get back with your ex-PMDD partner, the first thing I will always tell my private clients, you need to not beg or appear desperate to your ex. Okay, I've had this happen with me personally so often, where an ex has tried to get back with me and they've just been really desperate in their attempts, and really pushy and really abrasive and really assertive. And I believe that they thought that they were doing the right thing, but desperation is very unattractive. So it's like you think you're doing the right thing, but you're actually doing the opposite, because now they're starting to lose respect for you, and they're starting to see you as this desperate, needy, clingy individual. And they start to feel like, Well, if you're acting like this when you're trying to get back with me, then what are you going to be like if we actually get back together? Like, you just seem like you're too much when you're in that desperation mentality. And I understand where it's coming from, because it's like, oh my goodness, I made a mistake. I really want to get back with you. And there's this sense of urgency. So I do get it, and it can come from a good place. But when you start to become desperate or appear desperate, you're making it harder for yourself. Okay, I'm going to tell you what to do. And what you need to do, instead of being desperate, instead of appearing desperate, be patient and wait for things to happen naturally. You want to take the pressure off of your ex-PMDD partner to reestablish the relationship, because where there's pressure, there's stress. And where there's stress, there's going to be, oh, you're causing me more stress. Meaning, if, we get back into a relationship together, you're going to be the reason why I have stress. And then that's going to make my PMDD symptoms worse. So the likelihood of success in getting back with your PMDD partner is essentially greater when your ex-PMDD partner meets you halfway. Just like you have doubts about the breakup, they need to have doubts too. So if you're the only one with doubts, it's going to be very hard to rekindle the flame to get back together, because it's going to be a situation where you're just convincing the other person to do what it is that you want them to do, rather than them feeling like, you know what, there were some good things about our relationship. We could have made it work, and actually enjoy each other. Like, not just make it work. And I hate when people say like make it work, but what I mean by that is be together, experience love together, those loving feelings, all of the benefits that you agree to, because you have to think about it. At some point in your relationship, you agreed to commit yourself to this person for a reason. And what has happened in the breakup is that they've forgotten about what that reason is. So the second PMDD Trauma Transformational Tool is to avoid playing games with your ex-PMDD partner. They are likely to see through any of the schemes that you're trying to play, and you're not going to be able to fool them. So if you're trying to trick them into being back with you, if you're trying to portray that you're going to do these miraculous changes that you have no intention of doing, like if you know that the reason why you all broke up was for one reason, and you're telling them you're never going to do it again, but you know for sure it's a part of your personality and you're probably going to do it again, don't lie. Because I would rather you get back with your ex-PMDD partner and they know what they're getting themselves into, versus you portray yourself as being like, oh, I'm going to be this, upstanding person and not do these things. And then you get back in the relationship and do it again. Because if you get back with your ex PMDD partner and you do the same thing again, you're done. And you're done. You've lost your chance. Do not pass go. Do not collect $200. You're not going to get another chance. If they let their ego down, if they let their pride down, and they decide to be back with you and you burn them again, you might as well pack it up, because you don't get that many chances, right? In intimate relationships, because especially when you're dealing with PMDD, it's kind of like when you're dealing with someone who suffers with PMDD, they already feel overwhelmed and already feel like they have so much on their plate. So the goal of a relationship is to take things off of their plate, to get support, to not have to do it alone, and to take things off of their plate. That's not saying that you're not going to benefit from being in a relationship with them, but the whole appeal of being in a relationship is to say, I don't want to have to do this alone. I don't want to have to suffer alone with PMDD. If you come with a whole bunch of things to drop on their plate and show them that they're going to be dealing with even more, you're going to lose them forever and ever and ever. Goodbye. Peace sign. They're going to be out. The next step is you need to show them the changes in your actions rather than tell them. I want you to avoid telling your ex how much you changed, the work that you've done, all of the things that you said you're going to do and you finally did it. Talk is cheap. And it's so frustrating to hear it, because they probably heard it in the relationship. At some point, you probably said, I'm going to change this thing. And you've told them that many times, or I'm going to be more considerate, or I'm going to be more supportive, and you've not done it. So when you become their ex and you come back with those same words, like they don't want to hear that, because it's just like a repeat of the past. Actions speak louder than words. Show them just how much that you've grown. And the best way to show them how much you've grown is to actually grow. I'm going to repeat that. The best way to show your ex PMDD partner how much you have grown is to actually grow. So if you've not taken the steps to learn more about PMDD, to get PMDD relationship expert advice that's specific to supporting them when they're in PMDD so that you can get what you need when they're in PMDD. If you've not done that work and that was the cause of your breakup, so if your breakup was due to PMDD and that's, when they're in their PMDD days, they made this decision and that's the cause of your relationship problems, but you have done nothing to show them that, like, I went out of my way and tried to learn about PMDD so that I can support you best. If you've not done that, then like talk is cheap. Actions speak louder than words. Show them. I've even had clients take invoices from our private sessions and show them to their ex and been like, look, I've been going to sessions with Rose and I've really been trying to understand PMDD better so that I can support you, so that I can be with you, so that we can make it work and just be loving even though you have PMDD. Like, they've said these things and that has been like the way that the ex has been like, okay, so you really are trying. And sometimes that's all that they need, is to see that you're showing some effort in their direction. If you're showing effort and you're still trying to get things for yourself, meaning I want to be back with them so we can do this and we can do that, and it's all self-serving, they're going to smell that and they're going to be like, no, no, and no. If you're trying to get back with your ex-PMDD partners to get something from them, please make a legal U-turn, because PMDD partners do not need individuals that are trying to just take, and that are not committed to taking something off of our plate to alleviate our stress, to alleviate things that we are going through. That is the purpose of having a partner. And I guarantee you're going to get everything that you want in return. We're not just here to, take the support from you and then we're just going to be horrible to you. You're going to get the love, affection, attention, and all these things. But you have, in order to be a good PMDD partner, like, you have to be able to have that mindset of, I understand that they're dealing with more stress and overwhelm than the normal individual, and I'm wanting to help them out with that. I'm wanting to take something off of their plate so that they can live a less stressful life while they're having PMDD and dealing with these symptoms every single month. If that's not your goal, if your goal is to do it because you just really want to be in a relationship and you want companionship and you, we're going to sniff that out in a minute, because we're going to be like, no, you just want to do this for you. You don't want to do this for me. You don't want to get back with me for me. You want to get back with me for you. And as soon as we figure that out, it's like we're putting up another wall, because it's like, I can't afford to have someone else take something from me when I barely have enough for myself or my children or my job or things that are, a part of my livelihood. So you have to be really mindful as to how you're presenting yourself when you're trying to get back with your PMDD partner or your ex-PMDD partner. Be mindful as to what it is that you're committing to. What are you saying that you're there for? It better be something to help them. That's all I'm going to say. It better be something to be like, I'm trying to take something off your plate, and be really specific with it. I know that you deal with this, and I just want to help you with that by doing this. Show specific examples, and not in a sense of where we're going to feel like we have to pay you back, or like it's an IOU, like you're better than me, because there's a lot of pride that goes into, being individuals that have PMDD, because our self-esteem takes a hit because we have PMDD. So it's kind of like on times we're not able to do as much as we would want to do. We're just like needing that validation that no, like we're fully capable. Like so it's a sweet spot. Like you need to do some things to show actions that you've changed in certain ways, but don't do so much to where you're making it seem like we're incompetent and we can't provide for ourselves and all these things, because then that's more like an insult. So number 4 is say sorry, apologize when the situation calls for it. So you know when you've done something to your PMDD partner, your ex-PMDD partner, that they've not liked, that they've not appreciated, that has caused them to break up with you. And sometimes I know that you said, I probably already said I'm sorry. Say it again, right? Say it again and say it in a way that's very specific. Don't just be like, I'm sorry for what I did. Well, what the heck did you do? And why did you do it? I know what helps me forgive my PMDD partner is if they apologize to me and then they tell me not only I apologize for what I did, but then the next question that I have is, why did you do it? What caused you to do it? And when they start to tell me, oh, where I had this going on, it's like I'm better able to respond to an apology when I know where it's coming from, because then I feel like it's coming from a genuine place and I can have some sense of compassion. If you say, you know what, like I've had clients that have been like, you know what, I didn't know about PMDD and that's why I reacted this way. And so now that I know about it, that, you know, now I'm ready to go through this process of being in a PMDD relationship with you, because now I have the tools. Now I'm willing to get the tools. I'm willing to do the work, all the things. But before I didn't know, and I presented it, you know, I presented what I wanted and I needed differently. And so I do want to be with you. And so I think in that scenario, which is a lot of my private clients that have broken up, it's kind of like you're reframing their mindset regarding why you broke up and what you needed and all the things. And that's helping them to accept your apology because it's coming from a genuine place. Not just apologizing for the sense of getting back what you want. Like I felt that too, where you know, exes have apologized. Oh, I'm really sorry. And then I said, oh, do you know what you're sorry for? And they're like, no, I don't really think that I was wrong. So I'm like, what the heck? Like they're just doing it because they want to get back into that place of receiving the benefits of being together again. So the next step is I want you to try some old-fashioned romance. So a heartfelt gesture can go a long way as far as overcoming whatever caused the breakup. A long letter is a great way to start with this, because you don't want to be too grand and give roses and gifts and all these things, because it's super fake, it's super rom-com, you know, like those romantic comedies, and it seems super disingenuous. It's like, oh, you're just doing this for this reason, like I told you before, like a self-serving reason. But if you genuinely write out everything that you've done wrong, write out what you were thinking, write out what you thought, that how you thought you were doing things right, and you just give them something that's very specific to them and heartfelt, that can help, you know, ease their mind that you're trying to get something from them. Because a lot of times when you're dealing with PMDD partners, like we tend to think, oh, you're trying to get something from me, you're trying to take something from me. And so when you do those heartfelt gestures and try some romance, then it's kind of like, okay, so you just want me. That is your goal, to make them understand that you just want them. You don't want everything that they can do for you, all the things, because that sounds like a lot. It sounds like pressure. You just have to get them to understand that you just want them, and that's it. Just being with them would be good enough. And I guarantee you, when you're with them, you're going to get so much more than that. But the way you have to portray it for PMDD sufferers, it's like, I'm not trying to take anything from you. I'm not trying to add more things to your plate. I just want to be with you. And the next thing for getting back with your ex-PMDD partner is letting go of the past. And so it's so important to understand that your old relationship, if you get back together, cannot exist anymore. You can't go back and create that same scenario, that same relationship before. It's very important that you get a new connection with your PMDD partner, and you need to move forward by freeing yourself of all of the negative emotions of the past. And a lot of times the way you do that is to heal from the past. I'm pretty sure it was a lot of traumatic things that happened. And so that's another reason why you need to work with me on one or two levels, either with private sessions. I would suggest private sessions for this one. When it comes to healing from the past, we're going into very scenario-based, very specific things that have happened. And it's the deep and intrinsic work that I do with my private clients, where we're really going into depth of what happened and how it affected you, and what does that look like for healing, and giving you the tools to heal from that. And that is necessary. If you're trying to get back with your ex-PMDD partner, maybe just tell them, like, I'm willing to do what it takes to go through the healing process. I know that it's going to take time to heal, but when you remove all of the stuff, all of the negativity from the past, that's the next tool. You can try something new. You can start a new routine. I want you to start to do different things, go to different places, go do different activities. Because if you're in a new environment, you're likely to be viewed in a fresh way. So I need you to get with the good and ditch the bad, and just get a fresh start. Don't try to take the time that you have with your ex-PMDD partner and try to recreate the past. I've done that so many times where I'm like, oh, let's just go to the same restaurant. Let's go do the same activity and see if we have the same, response that we had before, the same good time. You probably won't, because it's tainted with all of these toxic feelings from how your past relationship failed. So if you do succeed in getting back with them, do not try to do the same thing. Start something fresh, start something new. Understand that point in your relationship needed to happen. It's not a bad thing, but it's not a situation that you need to recreate it and do a do-over. And the last step is remember the good things about your PMDD partner and your PMDD relationship. So many times, if you're thinking about, should I get back with my ex-PMDD partner, I want you to list out what are the original reasons that you decided to be with them. Because just deciding to commit yourself and be with a person is a really big step. You're committing yourself to this person above all other people, and there are billions of people in this world, so they must be pretty special. I want you to really think about what are the positive memories that you have with them in the past. When you remind yourself of the good times, you're both going to be reminded of the connection that you had. And when you have that shared past, it's not easily forgotten. And those memories that you had are there for a reason, right? Because you couldn't just have those same memories with anyone. So you have to really think about, do I really regret breaking up with my ex-PMDD partner? Because will I be able to recreate these memories with anyone else? The answer is probably no. So figuring out if you want to give your ex-PMDD partner another chance is a big decision. And getting back together with an ex-PMDD partner can be challenging, but sometimes it's a really wise decision, because you could possibly have gave up the person that is your person and that is for you. So I want you to really think about this. If you're the PMDD sufferer and your ex is trying to get back with you, I want you to go over these tools and really think about it. Really think about everything that happened. I know that the reason why you broke up is probably really solid in your mind, and you're like, I've already made the decision. But you have to understand, relationships are so grand in that they affect every aspect of your life. And if you don't make the right decision about your relationship, it can literally affect every other area of your life. I know that's true for me. It'll affect my career. It'll affect how I am with my children. It'll affect my mood. It'll affect how I show up to work. So you want to make sure, if you've broken up with your PMDD partner and you want to get back with them, think about what that's going to look like. Have those hard conversations. I've had a lot of sessions with private clients where they have literally sat down and mapped out the changes that they wanted to make and what that's going to look like. And what that will do is give you confidence to know that you're not getting back with your ex-PMDD partner to have the same old relationship before. You're getting back with your ex-PMDD partner to have a brand new relationship, a fresh start. And that makes it sound a lot more appealing than for your ex-PMDD partners to think that they're getting back into a situation that they practically ran from. So make sure you're really thinking about, why are you getting back with your ex-PMDD partner, what that can look like, and then getting the help that you need to go through that process, because it is a process, because you don't want to mess up your chance. You don't want to say, okay, when you're asking yourself, does my ex PMDD partner deserve another chance? You don't want to give them another chance and blow it, or accept another chance from them and they blow it, and then you're going to be double disappointed. So you want to make sure you get it right the second time, so that if you've broken up with your PMDD partner, or your PMDD partner has broken up with you and you need help with it, make sure you contact me at www.inlovewithpmdd.com and book a private session so we can go through that restorative process. And if you feel like your ex is not responsive or anything like that, I'm in my DMs for 2 to 3 hours every single day on Instagram, In Love with PMDD. Come and chat with me. We can talk about it. But a lot of the things that can really, really help you go on during those private sessions, and we really get to customize how you can possibly get your ex PMDD partner back. We got this. I hope this PMDD episode helped you and your partner in your struggles within your relationship. And if this is something that you know that you need help with and you need further support, individualized support, make sure you're going to inlovewithpmdd.com and you're getting those private sessions to really work through what you're going through in your relationship, specifically in regards to PMDD. And also, I want you to leave a 5-star written review on Apple Podcasts. What this does is it helps other PMDD sufferers and partners find this show that can help them get these free PMDD relationship tools. I remember what it felt like to not know that there were tools out there specifically for PMDD relationships. So I want to make sure that you are sharing these tools with others, share them on your social media, share them with people that you know that are also struggling in their PMDD relationships. Until next episode, this is Dr. Rose, your PMDD relationship psychotraumatologist. One more thing, I almost forgot. I now have the Fresh Start PMDD Partners workbook. What this workbook can do is, if you've had past traumatic experiences with your partner, past fights, past arguments, and they keep coming up every single month in PMDD, I created a Fresh Start workbook so that you can deal with all of the traumatic experiences that have happened in the past in PMDD range and all of these things, so you can stop going through the same cycle again and again and again. So get that workbook. It comes with a video episode of the actual podcast that I recorded on getting a fresh start in your PMDD relationship, so you're not continuing the same cycle again and again and again. So make sure that you get that workbook. And if you need those individualized counseling sessions, you know where to go, inlovewithpmdd.com. Until next time, we got this. Love you.